Hello again, folks. May the 4th be with you. So it's been a while since I worked on this. I basically put it aside for the winter because it's been pretty cold up until maybe about last weekend. A bit too cold for me to work on this outside, so it was only just last weekend that I decided, okay, well, let's get started on this again. For those of you who are not familiar, this is Captain Ithano's helmet from Star Wars The Force Awakens. You only really see him for a couple minutes in the movie, but the design I found was pretty interesting, so I figured I'd jump on it. The base model, I modeled this out in ZBrush and then kind of retopologized it in Blender so that it was lower poly. And then I printed that out, converted it to foam. I'll show you underneath. So that's just normal EVA foam. And then I covered it over with a bit of Worbla. Mostly because I didn't really want to futz with resin, polyester resin. It can be very stinky, and I'm not in a position to use that here, so Worbla it was. So I covered the whole thing over in Worbla, and I made a lot of revisions along here, and kind of just overall, it was like it still is quite the work in progress. But yeah, it took a lot of carving and then recovering and refinishing, and basically I'm in the Bondo sanding stage at this point, and that's where I left it in the fall. So this past weekend I started adding more detail and sanding out some of these profile, these silhouette edges. This side needs a little bit more. And then I started working on the front a little bit more. It's not as noticeable, but I'm getting there. Trying to get a bit of symmetry, as much symmetry as I can, and hopefully eventually I'll be able to carve out these details and then build up a little bit more with some putty along these edges, because they're a little bit raised in the original. I have also filled out these arches here, and they still need some smoothing, but they're finally getting to the stage where I'm a bit more happy with it. The original has a little bit more of a curve up, but there's not a lot I can do with that other than maybe thicken the top. Otherwise, because this lower surface is right up against the Worbla, I can't actually cut that out anymore. So I mean, that's probably something I'll have to fix if I make another one of these. But them's the breaks. So the other big part of what I modified this past weekend was this backing here. Previously this was just round, it was straight down. But I've added this part here. It's supposed to actually come out a bit more from here to here, I think. And I'm gonna have to find some more reference from the movie, because I'm not entirely sure whether this comes out on as an edge right here, or whether it comes out smoothly and then kind of dips out. So that's something I need to review. And then the other thing that I need to add before I start finalizing everything is a strip here on the top that will blend into the forehead and then down here, just because that's what's in the profile of the helmet as well. And then hopefully pretty soon I'll be able to start on the actual costume and the bracers and the boot stuff. So that's where I'm at right now. I hope you're having a good Star Wars day, and I'll catch you next time.